Welcome back, dear participants, to the afternoon session of the second day of 3 days online faculty development program on sustainable building materials and practices sponsored by APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. For this session, we have an eminent speaker, Dr. T. Palanisamy, who is currently working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, Surathkal. He has published 113 articles in journals and conference proceedings at national and international levels. He has delivered more than 123 keynote lectures in various levels sponsored by AICTE, CSIR, DRDO, and DST. He also secured funded projects from DST, SERB, DBT, AICTE, etc. At present, one funded project is going on with worth of 0.38 crore for the development of concrete battery. He registered 14 patents along with co-inventors. He has received 17 awards, including the most esteemed award of Vishwakarma Award 2018 by Planning Commission of India, New Delhi, Best Faculty Award 2017, Bharat Ratna Mother Teresa Award 2014, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Gold Medal Award 2015. The Indian Concrete Institute honored him with the Outstanding Young Concrete Engineer Award. Under his supervision, 11 PhD was completed and 4 are pursuing. His area of research includes development of sustainable material for structural applications and micro-characterization of the concrete. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Palanisamy sir is accompanied here with one of his research scholars, Dr. Ajmal Muhammad, who has obtained his PhD degree from Anna University, Chennai in 2020. He is currently working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at MEA College of Engineering, Perinthal, Malappuram, and he completed his doctorate under the supervision of Dr. T. Palanisamy. He has published many articles in journals and conference proceedings at national and international levels. His area of research includes advanced construction materials for sustainable structures and micro-characterization of the concrete. With this brief introduction, I would like to jointly invite Dr. T. Palanisamy sir and Dr. Ajmal Muhammad to deliver the talk on the topic Green Synthesis of Artificial Aggregates and Structural Applications. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Veena Jai Krishna. And yeah, so good afternoon to all. First, I sincere acknowledge to Dr. Professor Katta Venkatramana. He is recommended my name for this committee for this delivering of this forum. And sincere thanks to head of the department and the senior faculty and the professors in this particular college, and my student as well as co-presenter of today's Dr. Ajmal Muhammad, and the participants from the various institutions is sponsored by the Kalam Technological University, Kerala, and all other participants, dean directors and principal of this colleges, and my director and head of the department. Good afternoon to all. So today we want to discuss about the two parts. One is a material part, another one is a structural part. Myself, I will take that how to make it the material for the structural concrete, and Dr. Ajmal Muhammad will take care of the structural part. The very happy Ajmal is accepted my invitations in the last minute. He will ready to present his work because he only did all his work. I'm only credit as a guide. That's all. I bring him here to present his work. You learn more than about me. That's why I bring him here. Thanks, Dr. Ajmal. Now we for screen presentation. I will take up to 30 to 35 minutes. Then after that 30-35 minutes, Ajmal will take. Then 10 minutes of discussion. This is the schedule today. So if you exceed the time, please give the alarm to me. I will stop. Okay, now I share the screen. Can you see in full screen mode now?
No, sir.
Right. Now you can see my full screens, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Lucy.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Please.
Today, my topic is green synthesis of. Just a minute, I will take the toolbar out. Yeah, green synthesis of artificial aggregate actual applications. The introduction part, what we discussed today means what is the need of green synthesis? So most of the construction industry, the material developer now at present is moving towards this green synthesis to develop any material to how it's helpful for the environment and how much it's not disturb to the environment. This is very important at present. For that purpose, the any material development in the construction industry, we want to looking of that sustainability as well as green and what are the relevant terminology or terms. So for that purpose, the aggregate is one of the wider user in construction material in the construction industry. So next to that cement and water also. So we want to take more concentration about that. Just a minute, some disturbance. Toolbar is disturbing. One second, I will track the toolbar and I'll coming back. Okay. Okay. The construction industry is one of the most biggest and fast growing industry in the world. In the turn, increases the consumption of it contracts. So these are the some general aspects in that concrete. I'll come to directly presentation. Yeah. One side, the most of the power generated by means of coal-based thermal power plant. You burn the coal, we have that thermal power plant. So the end product down from the thermal power is the fly ash. The government also at present running the one mission, the fly ash mission, ash utilization mission also. So how to utilize this kind of fly ash in the effective manner? On the last 10 years or 20 years back, the huge the demand, the availability of the fly ash is too much. The at present huge demand about the fly ash with respect to the some researchers like how to utilize the fly ash in the concrete and other byproduct, so on. So though still we have the some problem. Last week also I have one request from the Ministry of Coal Mission and Fly Ash to contribute this fly ash utilization in the effective manner. So they call for that project, the fly ash mission. So we are contributing that. So how to utilize these kind of fly ash in an effective manner and the byproduct from this industry also like silica fume, GGBS, and what are the waste materials available in around us. So this project will take particularly the fly ash. The total fly ash production in the world is enough to fill the train cars stretching north to south poles. That much amount of fly ash is available at present. So that is one of the prediction. And fly ash production in that million ton per year, like China, India, USA, German, UK, Australia, Canada, so on. So the India is the highest producer, following the China. The next China, the fly ash is around 132 ton per million ton per year. So one side you think about that, how to utilize this kind of product in effectively, and how we can use this product effectively, and what are the other way to utilize this fly ash. That's kind of things we want to think about. What is the is as per our research, we conduct the research from 2004 itself. So most of the people did the research in the part of how to calculate that compressive strength, tensile strength, and all those things. It's very less people did this work in that micro characterization of fly ash. What is the mechanisms is behind of that? That's the most of the people lagging in the particular place. So we want to consider more about that micro characterization, and scientifically you prove. Suppose, for example, this is a general. Most of the thesis I can see, the compressive strength increases so much percentages, this much decreases this much percentages. If increases or decreases, that is the behavior of the material property. But we want to prove that why it is increases, why it is decreases. So with respect to the scientific and engineering knowledges, we want to develop on mechanisms. Then only the scientific people or world scientists accept your work, or otherwise no people accept your work, or no people recognize your work. That's act as a data only. The data is no use. Once you find these any mechanisms only, it's useful to for others. So these are the some problems at present. So what we want to do that, we have that in around us, we have a lot of waste like silica fume, GGBS, and all those things. So how do you make it this material is a useful materials for the construction industry. So this word is, I don't want to explain more regarding that geopolymer. Most of the people well known about that geopolymer and all those things. Geopolymer is nothing but we have the source material, alkaline solution. It's mixing together, we can get that one solid matter. It's like due to the geopolymerization process. So this is the technology. This technology, how we can make it as an artificial aggregate. That is a modified technology. That is a patentable one. Now I can brief introduction about the geopolymers. What is a technology? Geopolymers are synthetic mineral products that combine properties of polymers, ceramics, and cements, which can be synthesized by polycondensation reactions of geopolymeric procedure. This is the concept. The source materials like kaolinite, clay, fly ash, silica fume, rice gases, red mud, GGBS, and all those things. What is the basic properties need for that source material means the which metal have the rich amount of alumina and silica. Alumina and silica, that materials it's suitable for the source material to make it the geopolymers. Okay, which are most of the materials like which silica means like sand, it's right. Alumina and silica. So this material act as a source material. Another one is alkaline solution. For example, n number of solutions available, not only sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, sodium and potassium silicates. So you take n number of alkaline solutions. So among that solution, alkaline solution, these two combination is the better. As per research, David Ovis and as well as Rangan and n number of research scientists all over the world, they found the best combination as for the geopolymerization process for the construction products. Other products we can go for something. For example, dental application and all, you go for other alkaline solution. No need go for the sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, sodium silicate or potassium silicate, etc. Right. Here, what is the this is the combination. Then whatever how much amount of water is required, you can add this required amount of water. It's mixing together. Finally, you can get that solid mass. That mass is called as a geopolymer product or geopolymer concrete, whatever it may be. Right. Next one is fly ash artificial coarse aggregate. That is simply Ajmal is called as a FACA. He only found his name. Fly ash artificial coarse aggregate FACA. FACA is a geopolymer coarse aggregate made up of fly ash and alkaline solution. Simple fly ash and alkaline solution is mixing together and with a different molarity, with a different dosages of fly ash, as well as NaOH plus NO2 SiO3 and mixing together, and you keep it dry or ambient condition or room temperature or sunlight temperature, we can get the property will be changes. We can get on solid that called as the geopolymer blocks. After that, we can cure. Finally, you can get the FACA. The sodium-based alkaline solution is used because the potassium-based metals are expansive for his prediction. Yeah, these are the some introductory part about that. Now, how much of the waste is generated by black fly ash and all those things. For example, this is the typical problem. The two dye affect Reliance power plant or fly ash found ditches in Madhya Pradesh. So most of the people is the fly ash and everything is discharged in this water stream or want to store in that particular open area. Due to this water and as well as what we call air, it transfer one place to another places. There is a lot of issues one side. Then the fly ash was obtained from the Metal Thermal Power Plant nearby Salem district of Tamil Nadu. It was obtained the rate of rupees 800 per ton. Right. The alkaline solution NaOH and Na2SiO3. It is of sodium hydroxide and was obtained in the form of pellet form. The different form is available. Pellet form from local market at the rate of 40 per kg. The NaOH pellets are converted NaOH solution of required molarity 1 day before preparing alkaline solution. The sodium silicate solution Na2SiO3 was obtained from the local market, rupees of 8 per kg. These are the some byproduct that is fly ash. Then NaOH pellets, NaOH solution. This is a solution format. Now, for the FACA, the class F fly ash with a specific gravity of 2.26 taken, then NaOH and Na2SiO3 taken. Then another one is for the concrete, ordinary Portland cement 53 grade concrete, locally available manufactured sand, crusted blue granite stones, and locally available high yield strength reinforcement bar, and portable water used for this concrete purpose. Now, what is the FACA? That is a fly ash artificial coarse aggregate. This is the patent registered material. Myself and Sir Ajmal and myself registered the patent in the 2000. What is the year? During year forget. Application number 2003. Whatever, I don't know exactly. Sorry. Right. This
2018.
is 2018. Yeah, 2018. That is a fly ash artificial coarse aggregate that is called as a FACA. So you have this, open this document, you can get what is the technology behind of that, right? Then preparation is very easy. You take the sodium hydroxide solution to the sodium silicate solution by mass ratio was fixed at 0.5, all the mixes. we tried the different molarities by 8 to 16 molarities, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 molarities of sodium hydroxide, NaOH, the solution was used. The ratio of activator, that is solution, the solution to fly ash by mass is varied from 0.3, 0.35, 0.4. It is varied with respect to researchers, according to your convenience, according to your laboratory, according to your purpose. You can change the molarity, the ratios, everything. Then extra water is required to fix the conducting this standard slump test of compaction factor test. As a slump value is 90 to 20, 120 mm, the compaction factor is 0.9 is maintained throughout the study. So how we can get it means this is the fly ash, then mixing of the fly ash and solution, liquid solutions, we can get like this. After that, you want to cast, that is, make it as a solid mass. After that, you can curing. We did the both two times. One is a solid polymer block we prepared, then crushed in that crusher. Finally, we can get the record shape. That is one method. Another one method is the artificially want to make it as like a bubbles like that. So at present, myself, I did some work in the NATK at present. So using the pan mixture, using the pan mixtures and controlling the speed of the pan mixture, and as well as the inclination of will tilt the pan mixture in particular angle. Now we are making it as aggregate. So I want to put this fly ash, the solution in the pan mixtures, the rotating the pan mixtures, the particular speed and the particular angle, we can get that rounded aggregate, that is like a bubbles. So we have a lot of problems to maintain the shape of the aggregate. Once we maintain the shape, what is the problem means the specific gravity is another issues. We can get that very less density aggregate we can get. So for that we spray some solutions to that pan mixtures we can get. One side we slightly give the heating of the particular aggregate. We can get separated coarse aggregate with the boulder, that is a rounded surface aggregate we can get. That we did doing the work in our laboratory. But Ajmal works, we did two aspects. One is we made that salt block. This salt block is pulverized using that machine. And one is we made the hand like a rounded aggregate like that. So this first one is curing this, like this is made by means of hand. There is a pulverized one. This is a pulverized one. Finally, we can get this kind of aggregate. One of our colleague, previous colleague, Dr. Murali, also doing this work in this particular area. So you can use a less amount of molarity, this aggregate we can use the purpose of filter. For example, the industrial filter, like a trickling filter and some rabbit sand filter, the industrial filter, and absorbent. Some environmental people, it's very useful. It will be act as a absorbent for the treating the industrial wastewater in the high level effluent like that. So this another kind of process also is possible. So this is a simple process. These are some mixed proportions. Ajmal did a different mixed proportions from 8 molarity to 16 molarity. The molarity increases, the strength and the quality of aggregate also increases. That is obviously. If even you go for the more concentration, again it's a problem. It's reducing the strength also. So according to your convenience, you'll do it this kind of table. This is one of the research only. It's not using in that industrial plant scale, right? So these are some matrix is given by the trial mix to check this property of aggregate. that is a mix ID, the NaOH, the molarity, different molarity, 8 to 16 molarity. The alkaline solution to fly ash ratio, we maintain 0.3 to 0.4, 0.3, 0.35, 0.4, different mixes. Then alkaline solution ratio, NaOH to Na2 SiO3 ratio, then quantity of NaOH and the quantity of Na to SiO3, the quantity of fly ash shown in figure. So any aggregate come to the market, the people ask, it's maybe it may be satisfied this code limit or not. So the limiting value of varying surface as per code of IS 2386 part 4 1963, the any aggregate we are using for varying surfaces, that is the limiter, right? Then the limiting value of non-varying courses is 91 IS 2386 part 14 1963. These are the graph showing that mechanical properties like that impact value and crushing values and abrasion values given as shown figure here. So the most probably this is the aggregate is satisfying this mechanical property, all those things, right? One more thing, if any material it comes to the market, the people ask what about that chemical compositions inside of this aggregate. We did for that SEM and XRD, XRF also. From this XRF, we can obtain the result XRF result oxide percentage, how much oxide Na2, Na2O and SiO2 and SO3, K2O and Q2O3 oxide compounds we can calculate from XRF. The element percentages we can calculate atomic number and masses and atomic and all those things is more or less equal to that conventional aggregate. That is the things we can obtain from the study. What is a critical observation was made? The X-ray fluorescence patterns of FACA, the ADAX spectrum and scanning electron microscopes were done FACA. This examine shows that FACA is crystalline structure. Crystalline structure is very good for that bonding. That is very useful. Crystalline structure we already studied in the geology part. The dense microstructures of FACA increase the strength according to SEM images. The FACA is porous and heterogeneous mixture of unreacted and partially reacted fly ash particles. It also contains residual alkaline precipitations. These are the things we observed from this SEM and as well as XRD and XRF patterns. So this is the typical example of element energy dissipative analysis, X-ray ADAX. You can look at that Ca and Fe, O, Na and Ca and Fe. This is the very high peak. So these are the components is available, elements available are present in that FACA. It looks like a normal aggregate. That is the major advantages. These are the some series, what are the series is given. The K series elements is given. The weight is and atomic number and the sigma values and K factor, Z factor and everything is given. So for what is learned from this means silica, alumina, carbon and ferric. These are the very important components required. Then only we can achieve this minimum strength. That's why we did this kind of test. Yeah, this is interesting part. This is scanning electron microscopic study. We are working in this particular area. We taken the sample for this study. Yeah, this is the typical scanning electron microscopic study. SEM images at 500x magnification. 500x magnification. SEM images at 1x magnification. This is the 1.0 kx magnification, 1.5 lakhs magnification. This is the 3 lakhs. This is the 5 lakhs magnification. So what are the things we observed from here means? So in case of the structure, it's maybe crystalline in nature. In this inside any material, it's easily to bonding together. So it gives a more strength. And also needle-like structures is present in this any material, it improves the tensile strength of the tensile strength of that of the material. So now we are look at here, we can have a crystalline structure as well as like needle like structures. Then we can get that well-defined structures like sodium silicate, silicate hydrate structures. First, you can see this first figure. There is a porous and crystalline structures. The porous one side is some problems, another side is some advantages also, right? If the porous is greater than the cement particles, the cement particles enter inside the porous, it's create the better bonding. That is one side. The another side, the porous kind of metal available, these materials can applicable for the process, for the treatment process. That is another aspect. I come to that structural point of view. The crystalline structure is a well-defined surfaces. It's available in that material. It improves the compressive strength of the concrete, compressive strength of the any material. That kind of property available in that FACTA. That is a major advantages. Well, how it's happened means due to the fly ash and other materials. And also you can see the second figure, well-defined structure you can see, like a black in color, well-defined structures. There is a CH, calcium hydroxide. You can see this is the figure. So the calcium hydroxide improves the compressive strength also. Next one is residual alkaline precipitations. That's a white in color. This unreacted fly ash and the residual alkaline properties also. This also leads the secondary properties or secondary property of cement hydration process. After that, and also we have proved that using this kind of aggregate, the compressive strength increases. How it increases means some particles is not reacted with the other materials, still is reactant form. This react with the cement particles, it improves the strength. Another one is these needle-like particles we can see, like needle-like particles. Once needle-like particles we can see in these any materials, it improves the tensile strength. Now you look at this round, round, the globe jamun like that. So the white in color, that is called as unreacted fly ash. Unreacted fly ash. Sometimes these advantages as well as disadvantages also. Then another one is the zeolites. Zeolite also improves the compressive strength. These are the geopolymer binders. We can see micro cracks also. So still further we want to do some lot of research in the particular area. If the micro cracks is a presence, what about the durability aspects? We did, but microstructure level we not did, right? So these are the some properties. So suppose I want to take the particular property of this element, like for particular this one, I take the EDAX spectrum, particular place. For example, I can take anywhere. This particular place I can take. This particular place I can take. This particular place I can take. Right? So we from this, how much oxide components is available, I can take using the EDAX. That is a major advantages of EDAX. SIM, we can what the things learned from the SIM is we can find the surface morphology of that particular metal. The EDAX means you can get that what is the oxide compounds available in the particular area. That is a major advantage. Then FACA-crete, this is nothing but the most of our patterns is a crete, like a microbial crete, FACA-crete, loofah-crete, then aloe vera crete, glass crete, basalt crete. These are our patterns. My students and myself, we did that patterns. Just you can type in Google, we can get the crete, FACA-crete, microcrete, then basaltcrete, glasscrete, then claycrete, lufacrete, so on and so. 14 pattern, all the patterns are crete. Here Ajmal also did these aggregates is put in the concrete. What will happen? That is called as Faka crete. So he did a different mixer ID, that is M20, M25, M30. The M20 with the Faka, that is aggregate, M25 with the aggregate, that is Ajmal's aggregate, Faka aggregate, M30 aggregate. These are the materials required for the grade of concrete, cement, fine aggregates, coarse aggregate, water, so on so. These are the description. These are the mixer proportions of the water cement ratio, the cement, and all those things. So these aggregate put in the concrete, what will happen? That is the Faka. So these are the some fresh properties. So for example, that is a slump compaction factor and all those things. So more or less looks like conventional concrete. For example, I can take that density of Faka, M20 with the Faka. This density is less when compared to the conventional concrete. That is a fresh and hardened and added and oven dried density. So because this is fly ash alone present inside the aggregate, the density is way less when compared to the conventional aggregate. So that is a problem. So that's why you can see this kind of graph, right? Then compressive strength of the concrete. The compressive strength, the different days, 20 days, the 7 days and 14 days, so and so we did. The compressive strength is increasing with respect to the days of Faka and as well as M20 grade concrete. First graph is to look at M20 grade concrete, then M30 grade Faka. There is slightly the compressive strength increases because the crystalline structures present in the aggregate and this concrete mixtures. So that is a major reasons to contributing the strength aspect. Then split tensile strength, it is very useful to for that pre-stress concrete applications. The more split tensile strength is very useful for the pre-stress concrete applications. We achieved that also. Right, flexural strength. So nowhere using in the designing of mixed concrete. So we want to check what is the flexural strength also. So this is a numerical relationship developed between the relationship between the mechanical properties and splitting tensile strength. This is a compressive strength and splitting tensile strength. These are the mathematical model only. No need to concentrate more this particular area. So up to this over, one part one is so simple. Technology is very simple. You take the fly ash, that particular quantity, and prepare that alkaline solution. Then mixing together, we can get that on solid mass. That solid mass you may be cured and maybe ambient curing or hot curing or oven curing according to your convenience. After that, you're going to pulverize by means of crusher, or you may be broken by means of a hammer. That is one process. Another one is a wet process. It means you mix fly ash, then alkaline solution, put in that pan mixture. That is one method. One more method is available. There is rotary mixer also. The pan mixers, we can adjust the speed and the angle and spray the solution or dry this mixture. We can get the aggregate. This is the concepts. Then you do this test. So what are the tests you go for that normal conventional aggregate? Same kind of things we can do for this kind of aggregate also. Then finally you can get the aggregate. This aggregate, it may be put in the concrete. What will happen? That is called as a Faka. So if once I put this Faka into that concrete, how it's this kind of Faka, it's affect the structural properties of the concrete. For example, beam column joint, columns, then bridges or whatever precise elements, whatever it may be. Some durability properties he will explain. Yeah, up to this, my part is over. Now, over to Dr. Ajmal Muhammad. Thank you, Ajmal. Take care of.
Thank you, sir. Can you exit, stop sharing your screen so that I can share my?
I stopped my screen.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. One minute. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ajmal Muhammad. I am working as assistant professor in civil engineering department at MEA College of Engineering, Pendalmanna. It gives me an immense pleasure to attend such a prestigious meeting. And I am here with expressing my sincere gratitude to my supervisor, Dr. T. Palniswamy sir, and the organizing committee members for giving me such a fabulous opportunity to discuss my research with you and to make you know about um, my research. And also my duty up to some introduction part, my guide has given introduction about my research. Now my duty is to take you to the structure behavior properties of this Pakakrit. And I think I am audible, right? Okay. Now
Yes.
we can, I will share my screen. Okay, yeah, you can see my screen right now. Everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Please keep it in full screen mode.
Okay, okay. Now it is
Okay.
in full screen. Okay, and now from in this slide onwards, I am taking you to the structural properties which you find on this Pakakrit and by using the Paka aggregates. And also for 1 minute, I will switch off my video because okay. Okay, now you can see my.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, now first I am explaining about the stress strain relationship of concrete. We found that on our experimental investigation, we found that the stress strain behavior is very impressive on this Park aggregate. So on replacing the conventional force aggregate, the Park and the strain value, strain capacity and elastic deformation capability of the force and the failure zone, that is, and this one actually, and this strain capacity and elastic deformation are increased. And also we can see that the toughness ratio is increased. We know that the toughness ratio is the stress strain area under the curve of stress strain curve divided by FU into 0.016 as per IS4. And also from this graph, we can see that the red line is M20 Pakakrit, and black curve is conventional force aggregate. From this graph, we can see that up to the pre-failure zone, the toughness ratio increases, and also the strain behavior, strain also increases. And this there is a, we can find, as I explained before, we can find a significant increase in toughness ratio when Paka is used. And also this curve of stress strain curve, the post peak segment of the stress strain curve also are affected by introducing FACA into the concrete. By examining the crack pattern, we can see that firstly for lower grades of concrete, for that, for example, M20 concrete, we can see that the failure is by localized cracks. That is, there will be a one crack localized failure. And on increasing the failure, we can increasing the grade of concrete. We can see that the number of cracks will be increased, and even the failure will be converted into shear failure. Okay. Now this FACA-CRETE members, for by examining the FACA-CRETE members, we found that from at lower grade concrete also we can found that there are multiple crackings in the failure model. That is a change from actually advancement from normal concrete to FACA-CRETE. Also, we found that the ultrasonic pulse velocity test and also the rebound hammer RS test, these both two tests also come in line with the speculated IS code limit. And for RS rebound hammer test, it is found that the variation of rebound hammer results with destructive testing, that is experimental testing which we have done, and that result, if we compare it, it will not be as per IS code, it will not be exceed plus or minus 25. So as per our experiment, it comes within the limit of plus or minus 25. So it validates our research, and this experiment validates our research is has gone in a better correct way. So next we found the slip behavior of FACA-CRETE. That is actually a new test. Most of the people didn't try for this test because it is an important test which we should find to determine how the material used in the concrete is important. That is, I will explain the first firstly about the test. That is, I used 100 cubes for this test, and also I used a spiral confinement reinforcement inside the cube, and the reinforcement of speculated specific reinforcement is introduced in the concrete at the time of casting, and there is a small projection which we should there will be a small projection of reinforcement which where we will insert our dial gauge, where we will connect our dial gauge, so that we can on applying the if we pull the reinforcement, the specimens will be stationary, and if we pull the reinforcement, it will drag out of the concrete matrix, so that we can find the readings from the dial gauge. That is the basic concept of the slip behavior test, and also we can find out the and also we can find the bond strength by using the equation load by area, general equation load by area. That is, load is the load which we apply to pull the reinforcement out, that is P, and also that area means the corresponding area which the reinforcement is surrounded, that is pi dr. That is D means diameter of the reinforcement, and L is the depth up to which the reinforcement is inserted. So we used this test in UTM. In the mode modes of failure, we found that for 10 mm reinforcement, rod failure was okay, because if you pull out the reinforcement and the rod was failed first. That is because of the bond. If we apply load here, the reinforcement is failed first. But It is because the bond strength is more than the tensile strength of the reinforcement. For if we use 12 mm reinforcement, we can find that the reinforcement will easily come out of the concrete specimen, and that failure is occurred because of the shear, because of the shear, and also bond failure occurs. We can find that there will be a cone of concrete which will be found in the specimen, because we can found a cone like concrete substance, concrete, which will be, which we can find due to the bond forces acting on the concrete in front of the rebar. Nextly, we find the bond strength. We can find that from the slip behavior, we found that the ultimate bond stress of the concrete is much more than conventional concrete. And the increase in the compressive strength is a representation of increase in the bond strength between the aggregate facial and interfacial transition stone. That is, this aggregate have, if we use Pacacrete, the aggregates will have more bonding than conventional quartz aggregate. For 10 mm concrete, we found that the yielding of, as I explained before, yielding of reinforcement observed result in rod failure before the bond failure. And also for 12 mm reinforcement, we found a failure, a bond failure due to the shear force, shear failure. So in general, our graph curve will, we can generalize the curve into three phases. That is, there is one initial phase which is in a linear curve, and then it is small gradual increasing, then the failure curve. This three phases is also observed in Fasker. He given this research of in 2010, and also he found that maximum bond stress between 0.3 and 1.5 mm slip. And this maximum bond stress validates with my research also. And also we can find that there is some shear stress equal to ultimate stress is experienced even if the slip is increased. And this is our three stages of graphs which I explained before. That means firstly there is an up to 70 to 80%, there is a linear relationship between load and slip. And secondly, there is a gradually increasing load slope. And third phase is the failure phase, that is rapid decrement in the bond stress. Now these are the curves which I found, and I also found empirical modeling of the bond stress versus slip curve, and it is actually examined by Heliogen, Sorosian, and in 89 and also 91, and they also find out the empirical equation, and Fasker et al. Validates that this experiment comes in line with the above author's experiment research outcomes, and also my research also comes in line with Fasker et al. 2010, and this is the generalized equation for the empirical modeling. And also if we find out if we should if want to check whether this equation is right or not, we have to check it with other codes which I taken here. CEBFIB, that is a French code, BS Bureau of British Standards, ACI American Concrete Institute, EN European Standards. These four codes are used in order to validate my research, and I taken it after Mo et al. He also used this these four codes in order to validate his research. So these are the equations which is shown as per each code, respective codes, And from a empirical equation, we can find that tau max we can find from the experiment. We can find out the tau max from the experiment, and also using the equation, we find out tau max for each respective codes. From this observation, the best big relationship for my experimental investigation is CEB-FIP. That is the first code, French code actually. It is a federal code of French, and my experiment comes in line with CEB-FIP, and also this. 1 minute. These two codes, ACI and the EN, there is slight variations, but it European code and American code Condit Institute, these two codes also comes in line with my research outcome. But there is more accurate is CEB-FIP. That is what I explained before. CEB-FIP code is more accurate with my research. Now, the behavior of faculty. We introduce many structural behavior by using cube, cylinder, and everything. But we have to find like how it behaves when we apply this to a structure. So I used 1.5 meters of RC beam with a clear span of 1.5 meter, and it is experimented with load detailing is given here, and also I used the DMMC, that is demountable mechanical strain gauge, for use determining the strain values. That is, I will explain here, and the DMMC is placed in order to determine the strain value. There is a pellet attached to the structures, whatever it is, the beam or frame, anything. We should attach pellets. Then after when loading is going on, we are taking strain values using them at each point. We have to attach as much pellets according to how many strain values which we need. So here I took 4 strain values, that is 2 in the compression zone and 2 in the tensile zone. So these are the preliminary things which we have to say about our test. And now from this test, ultimate load is found. Ultimate load is found. We can find that for Parker-Crete, ultimate load is decreased. But it is actually a negative part of my research. I can't say it is a negative, but it is a flaw because we can't reduce our strength. But on increasing the grade of concrete, we found that on increasing the grade of concrete, we found that our Parker-Crete ultimate load is also increased. That is, the difference between the ultimate loads of conventional concrete and Parker-Crete is tremendously decreased. We can find it out from this curve, from this graph. So if I found that this Parker-Crete is very much effective to replace a natural coarser grade for higher grades of concrete. So and also we found that ultimate load is along with the lesser ultimate load, we found that initial crack load was far way lesser than normal concrete. And also for higher grades, we found that initial crack delayed. It is actually a negative for a structure, because if we delay initial crack is delayed, means and also the ultimate load is decreased, means uh, we will get a minimum time to escape if this concrete comes into public. Because if we find a crack, if we get some time up to failure only, we can escape from the buildings or amenities. So we have to increase this time period, initial crack time and also the final failure time. That is which we are trying to in the future. We are trying many things, but it is a positive research outcome, because we didn't use any admixtures. It is a pure new material without any admixtures or strength improving factors. We didn't add anything. So next we have to we calculated the load deflection behavior, and we found that all the cracks were occurred in the pure zone only. So the Fata beam shown linear behavior up to the failure part, and the behavior was deflection behavior was linear for Fata up to failure. And these are the regression analysis equations which were done on this experiment for each curve. And almost all the curve, while they get a unique equation, the regression analysis equation. And these are the values which we obtained from the regression analysis. And we found that even though Fata-Crete compressive strength is increased, its tensile strength is decreased. Fata-Crete is advanced more than conventional concrete in compressive strength, but it deficits in tensile part. So it is actually not a false research. It is a beginning of a research, because we get a good result. We got a good result in compressive strength, but the tensile part is very. It is little bit backward. So we have to improve that part. It will come in our future research also. And it is to be noted that the slope of the load deflection curve up to yield point of the Fata-Crete concrete becomes steep. That means for Fata-Crete, we can see that the slope will be there is a steep slope for Fata-Crete. Now we found ductility, and we found that on increasing the grade of concrete, we found that the ductility was decreased. It is clearly observable from this graph. And finally, we found the deflection profile on which we found that Fata-Crete differs less for a particular load than normal concrete. That is, and that it clearly says that Fata-Crete is a brittle, more brittle than normal concrete for a particular load of time, particular grade, and at a particular load. And that is what I explained before. There is one flow that is this less in that increased initial cracking time. So it should be corrected, and it can be corrected by using admixtures. And we will try that in our future research also. Now, I already told that I took four strain values, that is 2 in the compressive zone and 2 in the tensile zone. That is expressed in strain 1, strain 2, strain 3, strain 4. That is NC means normal concrete and Fata means Fata-Crete. That is explained here in the graph. We found that the strains of each beam were measured, and also we found that yielding of both reinforcement, the strain increases linearly. Yielding point up to yielding point, the strain increases linearly, and And the strain of bottom reinforcement are found plastic with a sharp increase in case of normal concrete. And also, we found that for M20 as well as M30 grades of concrete, the yield point occurs almost at the same load as that of normal concrete. It will occur, yield point occur at the same point as normal concrete. We can find here for M20 and M25. Now, we found the variations with the curvature, and curvature is taken for deflection curvature, and both are found and both are expressed in the curve. And the variation is similar to that of the load deflection curve. That is actually a normal to for any structure for moment curvature diagram. And also, we've also found deflection under service load, and it is all essential to find out how the structure deflects under the service load. And we found that the stiffness is increasing on increasing the grades of concrete. And also, we found that for M20 and M30 grades, the stiffness of Fakakrit is 3.2 and 12% respective more than the normal concrete. That validates our result, and that the Fakakrit is more stiffer and brittle. Now, this is the energy absorption result obtained on our experiment. For normal concrete, it is found that on increasing the grade of concrete, the stiffness, energy absorption capacity increases, and for Fakakrit, it decreases. It is because of the brittle nature of the concrete. Now, these are the crack behavior, crack patterns obtained. We found, as in the strain relationship, we found that more cracks in the Fakakrit on the failure mode. Likewise, we found more fractures, more cracks in Fakakrit reinforcement concrete beam. Also, we found the final. We concluded that Fakakrit members are more brittle than normal members. And also, we found that the cracks are these are the crack variations: load crack width, and also crack spacing, load versus crack spacing, and load versus crack propagation. These are the failure patterns obtained for our specimens. And it is noted that it should be noted that for normal concrete, the cracks was minimum, and for Fakakrit, the cracks will be increased. And it should be noted that most of the cracks obtained in the flexural zone only, and it extends from bottom to top. Some extends up to top, that is which we should carefully observe. And some of them, a few of cracks are outside the flexural zone. So, and the experiment was a good, had a good outcome, and also we can conclude the entire lecture by these 2 slides. My guide explained about the Faka, and the main advantages of the material is we can say that the density of the material is 1100. It is actually comes in the limit of lightweight aggregate. So we are producing a lightweight aggregate, and we are actually surprised to see that how much we can save after that load. Now, Faka aggregates are suitable for concrete, which is subjected to freezing and thawing. And also, we found many acidic and durability tests also, and it all passed for Faka aggregates. And we found that the impact value is lesser for Faka is lesser, and also my guide explained that for aggregate, what every test we had done for Pakakrit. For Pakakrit also, as per IS code, we had done all the tests, and all the tests validates that Pakakrit can be used for wearing surface as well as not wearing surface. And we found particularly use it is important to say that we particularly use 8Ma1 mix for the because the sodium usage of sodium hydroxide is less, because it is a most expensive item in the mixing materials. That is, sodium is expensive. If we use 8 molar, we can use 8 molar mix. We can use less amount of sodium, so that we can reduce the production cost of the Faka aggregate. So this is the Faka aggregate concrete. We can find that the normal weight of the concrete is between 2,200 to 2,600, and we found that compressive strength of our concrete can be comparable with normal concrete, and also most of the mechanical properties which we tested for concrete are very much satisfying in order to replace conventional cold aggregate. But in case of tensile strength, it is less behavior which we had shown. But that behavior which we found can be improved by adding some some admixtures or some improving factors, and we will include that in our future work also. And also, I already told that Pakakrites are recommendable for higher grades of concrete, as we seen in the behavior, reinforce structural behavior of the concrete. Now, my future work included, I had planned to carry on my research on this topic, because it is very environmental effective. We can reduce environmental degradation by using this type of aggregates, green aggregates, and also green synthesis of construction materials should be improved, should be researched. So I am trying to take this research forward to these 6 links. So in this, 2 parts already completed, that is partial replacement of course aggregate by Faka, and also structural behavior under cyclic loading was also completed. So in next I am planning to put this Faka in the beam column in order to determine the behavior, and also life cycle assessment is important on this type of newly introduced material in order to find out how it will behave in a long run. So then analytical studies also was also my future idea. And then I have to most important part is to find out a production unit, production mechanism for this Faka, and it is on the final stage. We already planned with the plans and all, so it will occur in the near future also. Thank you so much for hearing me out. I am if there is any queries, you can please ask me, and I hope my guide will assist me to will help me to yeah, he is also online. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. T. Palmisamy, sir, and Ajmal Mohammed, for that really informative talk and introducing us to this new material and new research of yours and their structural behaviors. It was a wonderful session. I hope all the participants have enjoyed it and gained a lot of information from it. Now the forum is open for question answering session. Participants can unmute and ask the questions, or they can write their questions in the chat box. I think Rajkumar sir has raised your hand. Sir, please unmute and ask the question. Rajkumar sir,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
so you can ask your question.
Sir. Yes, sir. Dr. Ajmal, sir.
Sir.
So nice, sir. Your explanation, sir, is nice. But one small doubt, sir.
Okay, sir.
How to compare the molarity in 8 and 10 and variation of molarity.
Yeah,
But
of
which
course.
one type of you select the grade of concrete, sir? You
Yeah,
finally you mentioned that 8 molarity and sodium hydroxide.
Yeah, and that is in the first part which my guide had taken. I will go to that slide also.
Dr. Rajkumar, regarding that
This is
molarity, the
Yes, sir.
molarity is related to strength and concentration of the solutions.
Okay, sir.
Sodium hydroxide, potassium, silicate.
Okay, sir.
Then grade of concrete is entirely different. It's related to structure, concrete property.
Oh, okay, 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 sir. But if we compare the grade of concrete M20, M25, M35, if you variation is a crack is he is explained, sir. So stress strain curve and everything. But I think they think on which grade of if you suitable grade in 8 molarity and sodium hydroxide. So then only I asked the doubt, sir. No problem.
With respect to increase the grade of increasing this molarity,
Yes,
obviously strength is increases because of the concentration of the solutions. So
okay,
what we
basic
did means-
concentrate. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I
basic
understand, sir.
So
Okay.
now these molarities, the concentration of the solutions add
Yes,
into
sir.
the concrete
Hmm.
in the form of coarse aggregate. What will happen?
Okay, okay,
That's the
sir.
things we did here.
Okay, okay, I understand, sir. Sure, sir. Good, sir. Thank you.
Very
Thank you
good
for
question.
your.
Also, you pointed it very correctly. And, that
you.
is the concept.
Okay, okay, I understand, sir. One thing, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
See, nowadays we can using that geopolymer concrete itself using that your method of we have to following that right, right, sir.
Yeah,
Geopolymer concrete.
Yeah,
That's also molarity and sodium hydroxide, everything.
Yeah, the Rajkumar pointed out very exactly. So, not present, we are using the geopolymer concrete. No need of any cement. Without
Yes,
cement.
yes, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So again, we are using that RTP natural aggregate as a coarse aggregate. But our concrete, we are using the FAC aggregate also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
100% no cement inside. If it is you add the cement also, no issues. We developed some aggregate, coarse aggregate. That aggregate, how it's perform in the structural property of the metal. That is the main aim of here.
Okay, sir. If you compare your project, sir, if you compare the Ajmal project, if you compare the ordinary concrete and FAG aggregate concrete, sir. Yes, if you compare the studies, everything.
Yeah, you can compare with geopolymer concrete. That is another part. You are using the conventional aggregate. That is a coarse
yes, conventional aggregate.
Geopolymer concrete. We can compare.
Okay, sir.
Then our concrete also you can compare, and normal concrete you can compare. 3 parts you can compare. That is a possibility.
Okay, okay, sir. It's nice work, sir. Good, good work, sir. Okay, thank you.
All the credit goes to Ajmal only.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other question in chat box?
There is one question, sir. That is whether this product is commercially deployed.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. Okay, sir. You can.
Ajmal, you give it. No problem.
Okay. Of course, we can commercially, because it is published in journal, it is have validation. So we can make it commercial because all the materials which we use in this project can be procured from government itself. It is all government related companies. because we have to make do project only. We have to give money to government in order to procure that material. If government is using this technique, then there will be no cost, because most industries are owned by government itself, which these materials are produced. So it will be economical, I think, in government-based vision. So according to private industries, if there is there is subsidies and all available, then of course it is a long run research. So we can find out what we can what output we can produce. So that is what we are expecting.
Thank you, sir.
Nice answer, Ajmal. I can add one more point along with Ajmal. This is the laboratory experimental test we was did in the laboratory. The same things may be extended for the mini pilot scale plant. Any industries is ready to accept our patent as well as technology. In the future, definitely we can make we can produce a huge amount of coarse aggregate for the all purpose. That is possible. One more thing you want to keep it in mind. At present, the construction industry is accepting only conventional aggregate. That is aggregate from this rock and stone. Like a fly ash, last 20 years back, nobody is touched the fly ash because this is the ash. So now there's a huge demand about for the fly ash. Similar things will be happen for that our aggregate also. Definitely, that's why we have the pattern also. The once this the trend will be changes, definitely this product will be role in the construction industry, no doubt at all. No, Rajmal, one more question from the chat box. This type of aggregate, which type of curing? You maybe answer this question.
Ambient curing is used. Only ambient curing is used, sir. So we just prepare the aggregate geopolymer block and leave it for 2 days. Within 1 day only within 1 day the concrete block acquires the strength for coarse aggregate. That is, we took the coarse geopolymer block after 2 days and then pulverize it in conventional crusher. That is the advantage for actually. That is a big advantage for geopolymer quality.
Okay, thank you, sir. Kind reminder, all the participants, please fill the feedback form, which is in the chat box.
Hello, Palani sir. Hello, sir. Palani sir. Sir, am I audible, sir? Sir, you have so many patents to your credit. So many our professors are doing so many research also. So when you do this types of experiments, how can you identify whether it can cross the patent?
Yeah. Sir, not audible.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sir, not audible. You asked the question regarding pattern. Up to that, okay. After that, I could.
So when we do experiments in the laboratory, so we'll be doing certain projects. So how can we identify whether we can apply for a patent?
Yeah, that is a very good question also. So whenever you find something different from the conventional, then you can get some idea. Suppose we want to test the cube, a simple cube for the conversion testing. So we can usually we can get that crack pattern like this, like a parabolic curve like that. So you can identify something different. Some material says something. So I am differ from the conventional one. Now you take that particular point. So what's happening inside? What is the mechanism inside? How it does varies with respect to the failure pattern and all those things. Even you can see anywhere, no? For example, you can observe during the experimental, you can observe the deflection pattern of a conventional beam and the deflection pattern of other beam made up of some adding a fiber or changing the material, so on so. Once you can observe that some difference, you can feel something. So why its beam is behaves like this? So what is the theory behind of that? So that the idea is just a patternable. That is a patternable law. And you add some new material inside the concrete or whatever it may be, how it performs. That is a new idea. So that point we can ticker the patternable idea. Then after that, you can search that Google search engine. You can get idea if it is available or not. You can find the disciplines.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing.
Yeah, and how you can write the pattern proposals and how to apply and how we can argue with this pattern office. That also is different art. That is a different things. I will take one more session also, no problem. How to file the pattern. Along with another 2 or 3 members already got the pattern. That I bring my scholar also. They will share with experience. Yeah.
Definitely, one day we will arrange that, sir.
Yeah,
One
fine,
day
fine. I will help you. No problem.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
any further question?
Yeah, participants, is there any more queries? You can unmute and ask. Sir, is these works already published in any journals?
Yeah, we double talk in the journal.
Yeah, it is published in KC journal, and two papers are submitted in one is in construction and building materials, and the other one is in actually in I think American ACA materials.
Okay, sir. Just I was asking if the reference, if you are shown.
Yeah,
the
of course.
disciplines-
I will send a actually I will attach the journal to HOD mom's mail. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
So I hope there is no more questions in the chat. So I hope there is no more questions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So now I would like to invite Dr. K. Rajkumar, Professor ICCS College of Engineering and Management, Thrissur, to give a feedback on this session. Rajkumar, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Good evening to one and all person here. Nice to invite. Thank you for inviting in the final feedback session. First of all, I would like to thank for arrangement of FDP and faculty members and HODs, principal sir, and various directors, and sponsored the APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University also. Every faculty members and participant also, Dr. Palanichami sir, Dr. Ajmal sir, everything. Good evening to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Palanichami sir. Your basalt concrete, if you get the patent just now, 1 month back, he is received. So once I like to congrats sir. You are explained for in this session for Saga aggregate, the for session for more impression for me and everything, as well as in our civil department faculty members. You are one of the role model for in number of great research and number of patterns we will try to, and not only for studying in the listening only for, and we are going to get the implement for on field oriented and execute the people and like that. So Ajmal sir also, we are good information for you are explained and everything. Your each and every one step you have to explain. Very nice, sir. Explain the stress strain curve also and flexural behavior. Everything is a very nice work. Yeah, really, we will accept on the nice work, sir. Only if you everyone crack pattern will be observed. So all the faculty members, then only we have to interesting for structural oriented. We will introduce the any other few we will introduce the new words and everything, sir. Good. Thank you for everyone. You're nice to give the chance for feedback session in the Moss Basils college faculty members and especially HOD sir and arrange the faculty FDP program also. Everything also faculty members. Nice to meet you and everything. Once again I would like to thanks, sir. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajkumar sir.
Thank you
Once
so
again,
much,
thank you all for the active participation, and thank you, Palani sir and Palisami sir and Ajmal sir. Thank you. Participants, today also we will be sharing a Google quiz link based on today's 3 sessions, as we did yesterday in our WhatsApp group. Kindly attend the quiz and remember the participant who gets the highest score will receive a cash award of ₹1,000. So kindly attend the Google quiz. Today's sessions are over. We'll meet again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. For our final day of the FTP. Thank you all. Thank you for the active participation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to all.